So good morning, people. Welcome to part 5 on GCP Cloud Security Engineer. We are posting this content after a long time, but we will continue this series. Let us subscribe because subscription would make sure that you get the latest content available. And the reminder, this channel is totally dedicated to help you clear cloud certifications. Which cloud? AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. There are so many different playlists starting from um, Mickey Mouse certifications to intermediate to a very advanced level of certifications. You can become a member, Cloud Kernel or Cloud Ninja member, to gain access to wide variety of content, more questions, important questions, which will help you clear certifications, and that requires a very small premium amount. So let us delve into the question now. So in this question, there are two things. First, there is a compute engine. Okay, there is a compute engine. This is called CE. This is my compute engine. And then we have a cloud storage. This is a storage. This is S storage. And your this guy CE compute engine wants to read the data which is there in storage. So what is the problem? Just go ahead and read it. No, we are saying that this guy S storage, this guy is not global. Globally people cannot access it. What it means is it is specifically for that region. Why? Because they want to ensure a privilege, principle of least privilege. What does that mean? If you're entering Infosys building and you are not an employee, you will be restricted to the ground floor in the reception area. They will not give you access to all the floors of the building. That is least privilege. Wherever this guy wants to go, just give him that access. If you're coming for an interview and you are just supposed to get to the third floor, the security team will give you access to the third floor only. You cannot enter fourth floor, you cannot enter 10th floor, you cannot enter fifth floor. So like that, these guys have told now how can you work on it. So the first option says let us create a cloud storage ACL. So that means you put a ACL here, and that allows read access to the compute engine. So only the CE guy can only do a read access using the IP addresses and allows the application to read from the bucket with credentials. Okay. Mm, this looks fair, but let's see other options. Say use a service account with read-only access to cloud storage bucket and store the credentials to the service account in the configuration of the application. See, from other things, one thing that I see is credentials you should not store. You should use proper key management service or secret management service. You should not store it elsewhere. So that's why I'm marking this wrong. And so you use a service account with read-only privilege to cloud bucket to retrieve the credentials from instance metadata. It is good because of uh, these reasons: separation of concerns, dynamic provisioning, and you also implement the least privilege requirement that you have for fine-grained control over permissions. So this can be an answer. This looks correct, better than option A. D says it is talking about using KMS and encrypting and decrypting the data. But that, see, encrypting and decrypting does not solve the problem of least privilege. Encrypting and decrypting is like somebody went to Infosys building, ground floor, they encrypt his data. They said, okay, suppose a guy called Rishabh went there. So they encrypt the data. But that does not prevent Rishabh from entering third floor, fourth floor, fifth floor, 10th floor. That is not solving the least privilege problem. Okay. It is just solving that who came in, went out, you don't know. You cannot read the data. But that is not least privilege. That is why D is absolutely crap. See, A we had parked, no? You see what is the problem with A now? Option A has a big problem. The problem is it is saying that We will not use credentials at all. So any Tom, Dick, and Harry can do this. No credentials required. That means any guy can enter the Infosys campus. No credentials required. Okay. That guy can only go till third floor, but then it can be any guy. It need not be a person who has come for interview or who has come to meet someone. It can be any Tom, Dick, and Harry. Just come inside his Infosys campus. Just sit, relax, enjoy the AC, air condition. It is so hot outside in India. So you sit in the AC, sit for 8 hours, bring your pillow, bring your bed, sleep there also. Because this is guy saying no credentials required. Any Tom, Dick, and Harry can come in. So that is why option C is only correct. Only correct. Option C. I hope you understood how did we weed out the wrong options. So this next question. So this next question. The thing is that see if you are working in any company, they say please follow the network and security review process. Okay, you have to follow the review process. Now every time you see currently people are not deploying once in 6 months. If you see once a patch comes every 10 days 15 days one deployment goes. So every time if we review then that will be a overhead and that will decrease the speed of productionizing changes. For example, Uber app, if every time they go through so stringent process of review, then they cannot add changes so fast. Okay, so they will lag behind the competitors then. See, in today's world, attention is everything. The moment you lose 1 or 2 months of Uber attention, the users are saying that okay, this feature is not here, it is there in Lyft. Then that user base will move to Lyft. It's very difficult to get them back. So people are saying that we don't have to take any risk. We always have to be fast, fast, fast. What should you advise now to the organization? Will you say, boss, forget the review process? देखी जाएगी प्रोडक्शन में जो भी होगा देखी जाएगी. See, that is not a thing. You can't say, okay, let it go to production. If anything gets screwed up, we'll see man later. Not today. Like today, forget the review. Let's put everything in. See, that is even more detrimental. Feature is not working. Now thousands of tickets have been raised. People are cursing Uber now. So that will not work. So what to do? So A says, let us use firewall filters to catch any unwanted configurations in production. Firewall filters. See, firewall filters is to control inbound and outbound traffic. It is not to review your configuration. Okay, बाप का नौकर नहीं है वो, ये तेरा configuration review करेगा. It is always meant to control traffic. Okay, not for anything else. This is wrong. Now D, see you see D, so stupid. D, they are saying was forget GCP was production, keep it in on premises only. See, such options cannot be answered in a certification. Any AWS, Google, Azure certification is all about understanding GCP features or cloud features, not about hey, let's go back to Stone Age. On premises is Stone Age. Okay. Yes, man. If you are feeling a harsh, that is a reality. It's a harsh reality if you are working on systems which are totally on premises. You are working in Stone Age, and don't try in other companies. Nobody will hire you. So A is wrong. Why will I put all production to on premises and dev and QA to GCP. I want to use GCP for everything. I can do hybrid. Hybrid is fine. Some portion in on premises, some portion in GCP cloud. Hybrid is fine, but total on premises is Stone Age. Now C says um, route all VPC traffic through customer managed routers to detect malicious patterns in production. Hmm. See, we are deploying application. Review happens on what? On application. The problem is not which bad player is trying to access your system. Is there a malicious? That is not a problem statement here. No, problem statement is I have my application code. You review that. You used to review it. If I don't review it, what should I do? How should I deploy? What should I do? You should mandate use of infrastructure as a code. Why infrastructure as a code? You will not make human errors in any configuration and etc. No human errors. So review is not required if you are following a templatized infrastructure as a code. That minimizes I mean that is a calculated risk. See in cricket, if you are hitting over the cover, you know there are no players, no fielders outside. So you can loft it. You don't have to worry whether somebody will catch. No, you can just loft the ball there. Whether it is a six or slightly before the boundary line, don't worry. That is calculated risk. Infrastructure as a code will give you calculated risk. And then you provide static analysis in CI/CD to enforce policy. So simple thing. The enforcing policy. The policy enforcement and automation. Automation of what? Automatically it will check for few things. Okay. Uh, that means review is not required for review of what? Analyzing transit routes, firewall rules. That enforce a policy. The policy will take care. So that way anything fails, it just says, boss, this policy has failed, you fix this policy. So infrastructure as a code and policy. What have we done? We have bought automation also in this thing. That is what you want to advise. So that every time review and some manual review is out of question now. So this is the next question. Okay, there is an employer, they want to track how bonus compensations have changed over time, and they want to identify employee outliers and correct the earning disparities. Okay, this is something which our IT companies also do. A lot of companies do. They see, okay, did we pay immensely or very high bonuses to some people, some employees over the past few years, and very low bonus to some employees, and can we now correct the disparities or so on? That exercise happens with not only bonus, with also your CTC. Companies do that exercise, and then they say, okay, let us give these guys more hike this year, let us give the other guys less hike this year. That is how they try to map. That is a normal exercise. Okay, so this task must be performed without exposing sensitive compensation data of an individual and must be reversible to identify the outlier. Okay, so that means a guy who is doing this AI work or data science work, this guy should not see the employee name. Fair enough, right? Fair enough, because otherwise he will know, oh, these are the people who got maximum bonuses, man. These are those rich guys. Or this guy will also know, oh, this is a guy who got very less bonus. Okay, so why you want to do that? That is your sensitive data. And then not only the names. Okay, this guy, what is the max bonus who got? Oh, somebody also got $1 million bonus. Okay, but what is important? This is only done for people who do groundwork on the ground, IT people on the groundwork. Okay, this is not done for vice president, CEOs. They will anyways take more bonus, more salary, everything more. Okay, they will anyways do that. So they do this exercise so that you guys, the ground people, no, the laborers. See, although we call it a right from scratch, it is white collar job, but consider yourself laborers if you are still developing something. No? So there, this kind of thing happens. Oh, did somebody get more? For VPs, partners, CIOs, CEOs, that is never happening. If the loss happens, this guy loses his job. It's so simple. That doesn't mean people on the ground don't lose the job. If that guy, before losing his job, he kicks all of you out, then only he goes. That is the thing. So, which cloud data loss prevention API technique should you use to accomplish this? See, this technique, why we are using? Because of sensitive data. The moment we see sensitive data, how do we, like, how will the computer know it is sensitive data? It will first discover, it will first classify, and then it will say, oh my god, I found a sensitive data. Then it will protect your most sensitive data. That is how it works. That is why there is these APIs, data discovery API, inspection, de-identification, okay, data risk analysis, and DLP API. These are there. So we now understood what DLP is. Cloud data loss prevention is. It is for sensitive data, and these are their key features. They automate sensitive data discovery. So this is automation. Automatically, it will, you know, classify and say, okay, I found this sensitive data. So this is good. So this we know what this guy does. See, there is a concept called redaction. So what it will do is it will remove that sensitive data. Now, once it finds a match, oh my god, I have this sensitive data. What should I do? So this guy says, forget about taking any risk. Let me straight away remove it. It will remove it. Okay. See, this is sensitive data, no? National provider identifier. This is sensitive data. Driver license is sensitive data. So what it did, it removed the email address. It removed it asterisk removed. This also removed. You cannot even see it. This is called redaction. See, the other thing is crypto hash config. No, this hash config, it looks, it will classify the data and then it will say, hey, I found this sensitive data, so now I have to use a hashing algorithm to hash it, to hash so that you cannot see the sensitive data. But this is accurate. Over redaction, this technique is more accurate. And see, generalization, it will just replace with general values. Okay, so see, if I read this question, they are saying the process should be reversible. That means if we have like masked the data, I should be able to unmask it also. Okay. See, logically answering this for me is difficult because see, if we are saying that please do not expose the sensitive data, I want a very strong algo, then I would go with the crypto replace algo. This would be my answer because this is very strong and it is irreversible. See, all four are irreversible, but D is the most irreversible. So the question is actually contradicting itself. Then when it says it must be reversible to identify the outlier, so I'm assuming that it is, in this case, it is. I don't know what does reversible mean. Does it mean that the masked data or the crypto replaced data can be reversed, or it means that We just identify outliers, and if we just have to unrank it, like derank it, and that will eliminate the outliers. What it means, I don't know, but I am just going with the one thing that I need a very strong uh, encryption logic, and based on that, crypto replaces something which is very accurate, moorland, and very hard to reverse it. So if you're not yet subscribed, do so. We will post many more such parts. This channel is about AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud certifications. We have Mickey Mouse level, entry level certification content, intermediate level, and advanced level content. So even if you have not gone through any trainings, don't worry. Come here, go through any playlist. We have explained in layman terms. In layman terms means a computer layman term, okay, IT layman term. Not if you tell your mom to go through these videos, she will not be able to understand anything. Okay, so this brings us to the end of part 5. We will post many more such parts, but one request, uh, pay a small premium, become a cloud ninja or a cloud kernel member, and gain access to more content. The free content plus the paid content, you would find it relatively comfortable in clearing the certifications, so go for that as well.